Hello and welcome back to another video on Unpacked Technologies. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can use your iPad as a secondary display for your Mac using Sidecar. It's a pretty simple process, so let's get straight into it. Alright, so in case you didn't know, Sidecar is essentially a feature that Apple brought a couple of years ago to iPads and Macs that allows you to seamlessly mirror your Mac's display straight to your iPad and use it as a second display for you. So this is all wireless, you don't need a cable or anything. And if you want to find out some more details about it, all you have to do is search up iPad Sidecar or just Sidecar in Google, and you can find the top result is the Apple support page, which says you can use your iPad as a second display for your Mac. Now, just another quick note about Sidecar is just before we get started here, you've got to make sure that your iPad and Mac are both signed in with the same Apple ID. If they are not signed in with the same Apple ID, your Mac won't detect the iPad as an external display. The other thing you can note here is that you can use Sidecar wirelessly, but if you want to keep your iPad charged during use, you can connect it directly to your Mac with the USB charge cable that came with your iPad. So that's another option. If you want to plug it in directly to your Mac, you can keep it charged while you're using Sidecar. And what you can see is how you can sort of use it and the different ways it works and all that sort of stuff. Now, be aware that Sidecar does have some system requirements. So not all iPads and Macs are just going to be able to use this. So you need macOS Catalina or later on MacBook Pro 2016 or later, MacBook 2016 or later, MacBook Air 2018 or later, iMac 2017 or later, iMac Pro, Mac Mini 2018 or later, Mac Pro 2019 or later, or the Mac Studio. And for iPads, you require iPadOS 13 or later, and all iPad Pro models support it. The iPad 6th generation or later supports it. The iPad Mini, 5th generation or later supports it, and the iPad Air 3rd generation or later also supports it. So they're the devices you need for this to work. If you have one of the devices that does not fit in that supported devices category, unfortunately you will not be able to natively use Sidecar. Now, just for your reference today, I'm using an M1 Mac Mini paired with an 11-inch 2020 iPad Pro with the A12Z Bionic chip. So both of those are supported by the Sidecar system requirements. So now we can get straight into looking at how this works. So I'll just close this other Apple tab off here and we'll come back to the top. So the easiest way, if you just want to start mirroring your display to your iPad, is going into the control center up the top here. Now, if you're on macOS Catalina, the control center doesn't exist like this, so you might have to go into settings or another way to find screen mirroring. But what you need to do is find the screen mirroring section here. So go to control center, then screen mirroring, and then you'll be able to have the option to screen mirror to any of your AirPlay support devices. In this case, we've got my iPad here, which supports Sidecar, and I can just click onto that, and immediately your iPad will start to connect to your Mac. It's probably best to have your iPad awake when you're doing this. If it's asleep, it may still work. Like mine was asleep just then, but it has been a bit hit or miss for me. So probably best to unlock your iPad and have it on the home screen for this to work. So right now it is mirroring now to my iPad's display. And what I can do is I can simply grab another tab like the Apple tab before, and I can drag that across to my iPad. You won't be able to see this because it's not on the screen recording, but I can drag that straight across and continue using both of them as separate displays, and this will work with any app as well. So that's one good way to interact with Sidecar. Now, another one is, let me just move this Apple tab back into my view on my main computer here. I'll stretch it back out. And what I'll do is I'll also just disconnect for a moment. Now, Another option is what you can do is hover over the green button on any of your windows here. So the little green dot, you can hover over that, and if you've got a Sidecar supported iPad nearby, you can go and click move to that iPad, and straight away that will activate Sidecar again, and it has now moved the tab over to my iPad's display, and it works quite nicely like that. So that's another really cool way of interacting with Sidecar. So they're the main two ways you can interact with it. There's also a couple of other settings here that you can change. So when you're in Control Center, and you can change this on the iPad as well. But on your Mac, you can decide to either use it as a separate display, or you can mirror your existing monitor or built-in Retina display if you want to, and just have two devices mirrored. It's all based on how you want to use your device. And you can also have the option to either hide the sidebar. So there's a little sidebar on the left of the iPad which has some quick actions there. You can hide that if you want. And you can also hide the virtual touch bar. So there's also a touch bar that comes up on the bottom of the iPad by default. If you want to turn those settings off, you can just click them and go through, and it will disable them on the iPad as well. So if you decide to hide both of those things, you'll get a full screen image of your desktop on your iPad, rather than having it sort of cropped in because you've got some of those things activated. But you can adjust those settings to your liking. And then once you're done, you can just click the mirror display button again, and your iPad and Mac will go back to normal as they were before. And your Mac will go back to your previous display setup. So yeah, that's the really simple process on how you can use Sidecar on your supported iPad and Mac, running macOS Catalina or later, and iPadOS 13 or later. Hopefully this was helpful, and you've had some great success completing this little project here, and you are now able to use your iPad as an extra external display for your Mac. Let me know in the comments below if you have any other video suggestions for me, or if you want to see more iPad and Mac content on this channel or anything else, because I'm more than happy to make those videos if you would like to see them. And with that, thanks for watching this video on Unpacked Technologies. Don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.